So now that you have landed the interview, what is the expectation of you as an interviewee? The employer has already successfully scanned your qualification and found you qualified for the interview. Kudos to you. Great job. However, remember that in spite of being qualified, you must prove yourself at an interview, because there will be others there who want the same job opportunity. You must ensure upon getting your interview call that your reflection of assertiveness is present. Therefore, you are going to strike a conversation with the person who called you or the interviewer to ask what position it is that you have been called in for the interview. And you want to ask all appropriate details: the time, the place, the landmark that is beside the place that you have to go to for easier location. And you want to also ensure that you get contact numbers if it is that you would in the long run need to contact that interviewer for any given reason. So these are the elements of your professionalism upon getting that call, and those are relevant questions. You want to ensure that at the interview on the given date and time, you arrive 15 minutes or half an hour before that interview session. You want to also ensure that you remember the principle of first impression is lasting. Act as though it is a given day for you to show the world that you are a professional. So from entering the gate at the security post to even walking on the road or driving on the road to approach the business place, you want to ensure, for example, if you're a driver, you don't rev at high speed and drive in with attitude. You want to drive in with professionalism, caution, and park properly, and say good morning to the security post, say good morning to front desk, everybody. Likewise, it applies for the person walking into that interview. You want to walk in with an attitude of respect, an attitude of knowing that you're on show for the day for a professional analysis. This is because there are given times when you have onlookers in an interview and they are part of the interview packages. So you would think that perhaps the security guard doesn't have anything to do with you landing your post, but the interview strategy was set up in such a manner that the security guard would have been asked about your demeanor from you entered the gate, if you said good morning, as a background check for you to land that job. You want to also be mindful of the fact that with interviews there are different types and persons can choose how they want to conduct their interview. But just be mindful of these simple factors. Your interview can take on a panel of just one person. Your interview can take on a panel of two persons. Your interview can take on a panel of three or more persons. And your interview can take on an assessment of different level of individual representative within the organization. So therefore, you might get an assessment from the HR representative within the organization, and likewise you might get an assessment from the customer service individual within the organization, as well as you might get an assessment from the IT or MIS unit of the organization. It all depends on the strategy, and it all depends on the job that you are there for. Be mindful to always be courteous. Please, thank you, good morning, how are you today if needs be, and all those level of mannerism must be displayed in an interview and at an interview. So this is the place where you do not lose your manners any at all, because people also interview you for your way of demeanor. So they want to know if you're from a proper lifestyle and you're from well-trained, grown-up background. So in spite of it all, you want to ensure that all your levels of mannerisms and all your levels of proper English and all your levels of a good rapport is demonstrated. Have a good one. Hi, good day everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bites. On this episode, we want to talk about resume writing, the whole art of creating your resume as a marketing tool to get yourself an interview. You must firstly ensure that you know what a resume is for, and it is for you to get the interview. Therefore, you need to tailor your resume according to the job post that you saw advertised. So if it is that they said they wanted a typist and they wanted someone who knows how to type 50 words per minute or the dependent amount of words per second, and you know you have the ability that they ask for, you put it in that you are able to type those 50 words per minute or whatever time frequency they give to you, and you also meet the further qualifications or requirements. There are other aspects of an advertisement that would give you clues as to how to tailor your resume. So the point is that you don't want to be lazy and say, oh, I can't bother to tailor my resume to each advertisement to get the job. It is your job to ensure that you have tailored it for the requirements and the qualifications listed within the given advertisement. You want to also ensure that you have a title for your resume. That is at the top page of the resume, where other persons refer to it as a header. This is where you put your name, your telephone number, your email address, your permanent and current address, and any other contact information as it pertains to your professional life. For example, your LinkedIn profile or other acclaimed professional website profiles. You want to ensure that if it is you are underqualified, that you highlight your work experience, if you have any, first, than highlighting your education first in the formatting of the resume. However, it is a natural process of the resume style for you to have your education and then your work experience. You also want to ensure that you have a good objective in your opening statement. So after you have done your header, the next thing comes your objective, and your objective must be reflective of the objective of the job as well being advertised. And also you want to make sure that you have tailored your resume to the best of your ability so that it reflects where you have read thoroughly what the requirements are, and also wherein your resume reflects the job post advertised, and also your cover letter reflects the same job post advertised. So in other words, you want to put a title of the job post that you're looking. So if it says architect, you want to ensure that your resume say architect professional or architect officer